You reach for your phone to check one thing, a message maybe, the time, something small, and then you look up and 40 minutes are gone. You don't quite remember what you saw. A dozen videos, someone's vacation, an argument between strangers, a face you used to know. It all blurs together into a feeling that's hard to name, a little restless, a little empty, a little further from yourself than you were a moment ago. If that sounds familiar, take a breath. This happens to almost everyone with a phone in their pocket. And it isn't because you're weak or lazy or missing some discipline that everyone else was quietly born with. It's because you are a human being interacting with something built by thousands of very smart people whose entire job was to keep you there. That's the part worth sitting with today. The pull you feel isn't a flaw in you, it's a feature in the design. So let's talk about what's actually happening slowly, without blame, because once you can see the shape of it, it starts to lose a little of its grip. There's a quiet feeling a lot of us carry about our phones, a sense that we should be able to just put it down, that other people manage fine, and if we can't, something must be wrong with us. But nothing is wrong with you. The apps you open are not neutral tools sitting politely, waiting for you to decide. They are carefully tuned to earn your attention, over and over, because your attention is the thing they sell. You are not failing to resist a simple temptation. You're up against a system designed by professionals to be hard to put down. Naming that isn't an excuse. It's just the truth, and the truth is a kinder place to stand than shame. So, how does it actually work? Think about the last time you pulled down to refresh a feed. You didn't know what you would get. Maybe something wonderful, maybe nothing at all. And that not knowing is the whole trick. Our brains are wired to chase rewards. But the strongest pull isn't a reward we can count on, it's a reward that might come. A slot machine works the same way. Pull, and maybe you win. Pull again, and maybe this time. The feed is a slot machine you carry everywhere, and every refresh is another pull of the lever. That's why you can feel bored out of your mind and keep scrolling anyway. Some part of you is still waiting for the next good thing, and the machine is very, very good at hinting it's only one more swipe away. And notice the feed never ends. There's no last page, no bottom, no natural place where it says, that's enough for today. Older things had edges, a show ended. A newspaper ran out of pages. The scroll was built with no edge on purpose, so there's never a clean moment to stop. You have to be the one who decides, against a thing designed to make deciding hard. Then there's a second layer, the one that touches how you feel about yourself. You are shown all day long the very best moments of everyone you know and thousands of people you don't. The trips, the wins, the good skin, the good news, the good angles, and you know somewhere that these are highlights, that nobody's life is the real they post. But knowing that doesn't stop the comparison, because you're comparing their most polished best to your ordinary, unedited inside, their outside to your inside. It's not a fair fight, and you quietly lose it 100 times a day without ever remembering you signed up for it. And there's a third layer, softer than the others. Sometimes we post not just to share, but to feel real. We put something out into the world and then we wait, we check, we refresh. We watch a small number climb, and for a moment it feels like being seen. When it doesn't climb, something in us dips. And slowly, the way we feel about ourselves starts renting space to strangers who tapped or didn't. There's a strange loneliness folded into all of this too. We can spend a whole evening surrounded by people on a screen, laughing, reacting, watching lives unfold, and still feel oddly untouched by the end of it. Connection that looks like the real thing, but doesn't quite nourish like it, like eating a picture of a meal. And maybe you've noticed the strangest part of all. You rarely feel better afterward. You go in a little tired and come out more tired. You go in a little low and come out lower. That isn't your imagination, and it isn't a personal failing. When something lights up that reward system again and again, the brain quietly answers by turning the volume down, so the ordinary moments in between start to feel flat, a little gray, by comparison. The scroll can slowly raise the price of just being unstimulated, which is why real life, a slow afternoon, a plain conversation, your own quiet thoughts with nothing playing can start to feel boring in a way it never used to. Nothing is wrong with your life. Your baseline has only been nudged, and baselines can settle back. None of this makes you shallow, it makes you human. We are social creatures who have always needed to belong, always watched each other, always wanted to be seen. These apps didn't invent those needs. They just found the exact wiring for them and turned it into a dial they can quietly turn. A gentle note before we go further. None of this is a diagnosis, and it's not a verdict on who you are. But if the scrolling has started to feel like it's swallowing your evenings, your sleep, your steadiness, if you reach for the phone mostly to escape a feeling that keeps getting louder that's worth taking seriously, and you don't have to sort it out alone. Talking to a therapist or even just one person you trust isn't a sign you failed at something simple. It's one of the more self-respecting things a person can do. Okay, so what actually helps? Not a detox, not throwing your phone into a lake, not becoming a whole new person by Monday morning, just a few small things that loosen the grip a little. The first one is friction. Right now, the app is probably one thumb tap away, sitting on your home screen, glowing, waiting. So the reaching for happens before you've even decided to reach. Try making it slightly harder. Move it off the first screen, bury it in a folder, log out so opening it takes a few dull, boring seconds. You're not banning yourself from anything. You're just slipping a small pause between the urge and the app, and inside that pause, sometimes you actually get to choose. Picture it. Your hand drifts toward the phone out of pure habit, but the app isn't where it always used to be. And in the 2 seconds it takes to hunt for it, you notice you weren't really looking for anything at all. You set the phone back down. It's small, but this time it was you who decided, not the reflex. The second one is to curate on purpose. Your feed is not the weather. It is not something that simply happens to you. It's a room, and you're allowed to rearrange the furniture. For 1 week, just notice how you feel after certain accounts and be honest with yourself. The ones that leave you smaller, tighter, quietly worse about your own ordinary life, you're allowed to mute them, unfollow them. You owe no one an explanation. And then follow the things that actually feed you. You get to decide what is allowed to whisper in your ear all day long. And the third one is the gentlest. The next time your hand reaches for the phone, try asking just once, what am I actually looking for right now? Often it isn't the phone at all. It's rest, or company, or a small escape from a feeling you'd rather not sit with. The phone is just the nearest door. Naming the real need doesn't mean you can't scroll. It just means you're the one holding the wheel, and sometimes, once you've named it, you realize you are reaching for something the feed was never going to give you. None of these will fix everything. They're not supposed to. They're just small ways of taking a little of yourself back, one quiet choice at a time. Here's the thing to hold on to. The goal was never to hate your phone or to feel a spike of guilt every single time you open an app. These tools connect us to people we love, to things that make us laugh, to whole worlds we would never otherwise touch. The point isn't to escape them. The point is just to notice when you're the one using them and when they've started using you. So the next time you look up and 40 minutes have quietly disappeared, don't reach for the guilt. Just notice, softly. You've seen how the machine works now. And you are always allowed to close it, lift your eyes, and come back to the life that's actually happening in the room you're really in. If this one landed for you, there's another video where I sit with the quieter ache underneath so much of this why comparison keeps hurting, even when you know logically that it shouldn't. I think it will feel like a companion to this one. Take care of your attention. It's one of the most precious things you own, and far more of it belongs to you than you've been led to believe.